Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. Let's begin our journey with the introduction to cells. In today's video, we are going to glance into types of cells, their generalized structure, similarities, and differences between cells. Cell. Although they are externally very different, internally an elephant, a sunflower, and an amoeba are made up of the same building blocks from a single cell that make up the most basic organisms to trillions of cells that constitute the complex structure of a human body. Each and every living being on the earth is comprised of cells. Cell theory also states that cells are the basic functional unit of living organism and that all the cells come from other cells. Robert Hooke is credited with coining the term cell in 1665. What he did was, he observed a thin slice of dried cork in his compound microscope built by himself, which appeared to him as a honeycomb. Based on the organization of their cellular structures, all living cells can be divided into two groups, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Characteristics of prokaryotic cells. A prokaryote is a simple unicellular organism that lacks an organized nucleus or other membrane-bound organelle, whereas an eukaryotic cell has a true membrane nucleus and has other membranous organelles that allow for compartmentalization of functions. Components of prokaryotic cells. All cells share four common components: a plasma membrane, an outer covering that separates the cell's interior from its surrounding environment; a cytoplasm, a jelly-like cytosol within the cell in which other cellular components are found; DNA, the genetic material of the cell; ribosomes, where protein synthesis occurs. However, prokaryotes differ from eukaryotic cells in several ways. A prokaryote is a simple unicellular organism that lacks an organized nucleus or any other membrane-bound organelle. We'll shortly come to see that this is significantly different in eukaryotes. A prokaryotic DNA is found in central part of the cell, the nucleoid. Most prokaryotes have a peptidoglycan layer, uh, that is cell wall, and have many polysaccharide capsule. The capsule enables the cell to attach to the surfaces in its environment. The cell wall maintains its shape and acts as an extra protection layer and prevents dehydration. Some prokaryotes have flagella, pillae, or fimbriae. These flagella are used for locomotion, whereas pillae are used to exchange genetic material during type of reproduction called conjugation, and fimbriae are used by bacteria to attach to the host. The cell size. Cell size of a prokaryotic cell. Uh, the diameter of a prokaryotic cell ranges from 0.1 to 5 micrometer in diameter, which are significantly smaller than eukaryotic cells, which have the diameters ranging from 10 to 100 micrometers. The small size of prokaryotes also allows ions and organic molecules that enter them to diffuse quickly into the other parts of the cells. Similarly, any waste products produced within the prokaryotic cell can quickly diffuse out. This is not in case of eukaryotic cells, which have developed different structural adaptations to enhance intracellular transport. Now, here are some common similarities between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. The first one is cell membrane. Both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells bear a lipid bilayer, which is an arrangement of phospholipids and proteins that act as a selective barrier between the internal and external environment of the cell. The genetic material, nothing but DNA. Eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells both use deoxyribose nucleic acid as the basis for their genetic information. This genetic material needed to regulate the information perform cell function through the creation of RNA by transcription followed by generation of proteins through translation. The next one's ribosomes. Ribosomes facilitate RNA translation and creation of protein, which is essential to functioning of both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. The last similarity is cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the medium in which the biochemical reactions of the cell take place, of which the primary component is cytosol. Here are some major differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The first is cell size. The prokaryotic cell ranges from 0.1 to 5 micrometer, whereas eukaryotic cell ranges from 10 to 100 micrometer in size. The prokaryotes are unicellular and the eukaryotes are multicellular. However, there are some exceptions for eukaryotic unicellular organisms such as paramecium, yeast and amoebas. The next is nucleus. The prokaryotic cells have no nucleus. The materials are already fairly close to each other and there is only one nucleoid, which is a central open region of the cell where the DNA is located. In eukaryotes, the eukaryotic cells have a true nucleus bound by a double membrane. It contains the DNA-related functions of large cell in a small enclosure to ensure close proximity of materials and increased efficiency for cellular communication and functions. DNA structure. The prokaryotic DNA is circular and is neither associated with histones nor organized into chromosomes. A prokaryotic cell is simpler and requires far fewer genes to function than the eukaryotic cells. Therefore, it contains only one circular DNA molecule and various smaller DNA circlets called plasmids. In eukaryotic cell, eukaryotic DNA is linear and complex with packaging proteins called histones before organization into a number of chromosomes. Membrane-bound organelles. In prokaryotes, membrane-bound organelles are absent, whereas in eukaryotes, membrane-bound organelles are present. For example, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosomes, peroxisomes. Ribosome size. Both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells contain many ribosomes. However, the ribosomes of prokaryotic cells is smaller in size, that is 70s, compared to the ribosomes of eukaryotic cells, that is 80s. Cytoskeleton. This is a multi-component system in eukaryotes composed of microtubules, actin filaments, and intermediate filaments. It is required for maintaining cell shape, providing internal organization and mechanical support. It is also paramount in movement and cell division, whereas cytoskeleton is absent in prokaryotes. Reproduction. The prokaryotes undergo asexual reproduction and binary fission, whereas eukaryotes undergo sexual reproduction. Cell division. It occurs by binary fission for prokaryotes and mitosis for eukaryotes. Some examples of prokaryotes are blue-green algae, bacteria, and for eukaryotes include plants and animals. This was all about the major differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Well, to sum up with, we went through the cell, its discovery, definition, types of cells, their generalized structure, similarities and differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. In our next video, we will be looking into the eukaryotic cells in detail. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.